This conference will now be recorded.
of
This conference will now be recorded.
okay. So why do I need Hybris? You can ask, because you are a Java developer and you must be aware, I can build JSPs, I can build controllers, everything, connect to a database and start an e-commerce application. So what kind of application you are working currently?
Currently, currently we use like web services, REST, Spring. Spring we just
No, no.
started.
What kind of application is it? Like e-commerce, finance application? What domain it is?
I'm into airline.
Okay, airline. It's something like e-commerce kind of thing, right? Where you
Yes,
sell flight tickets
tickets. Yes.
to customers, right?
Uh-huh.
So, okay, you are using Java. So,
Yes.
what Hybris actually brings in when it comes to e-commerce? Because you're paying money for SAP and then buying a product and then uh, uh, wanted what advantages does it bring in for you when you can buy a product from SAP? So the first thing Hybris is built is taking consideration what an e-commerce site will have. So if you take any e-commerce application, you will have a standard homepage, PLP page. Okay, let me go to eBay or some other site.
Okay.
So this is called homepage for an e-commerce site.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are called all categories within it. And let's say I click on some product. This is called as product listing page. And if you go inside, this is called PDP, product description page, which gives details of a product. So what SAP Hybris gives us is you don't have to build everything from scratch. Like, every commerce will have a cart, user, order record. Once order is placed, what is the fulfillment process? Fulfillment as in like, it has to go to some warehouse and then it has to be shipped from there. Emails have to be triggered to a customer. All these things are like inbuilt. We will give you the what you wanted. You just customize on top of it. That's what makes things easier for an hybrid guy to start off with uh, to build some website. Let's say for Java it's taking like 1 year of time for a project, taking consideration of servers, or like you have to manage the relationship between user, cart, orders. Instead of that, it gives an inbuilt platform for you, so that it makes developers job easier, and on top of it you do the customizations.
Okay.
Okay. And currently the competitors for Hybris, if you take, you have an Oracle ATG, and IBM has WCS, I think Watson Commerce Service, which is like for the same purpose of building the e-commerce sites. And uh, Salesforce has two things: Demandware, which is for B2C, and CloudCraze, which is B2B. So these are all like competitors, but Hybris is the leader in the market currently in
Okay.
terms of building e-commerce applications. Hybris is the leader. So you're talking about like after SAP was an individual entity. It was bought in 2013 by SAP. From then on, like they did so much of customizations, and they have built in uh, integrations like They have an SAP ERP system, and which is an SAP product, and S4 HANA, the new version of SAP ERP. So they have done so much of customizations to plug in an e-commerce application with an ERP application. So when I say ERP application, what it really means is enterprise resource planning, which was like an old version of fulfilling orders at an industry level. So what they bought in now is like since both are SAP products, they try to integrate both so that it becomes like seamless, order fulfillment. Instead of if I have an ERP system already, I just build a website using e-commerce SAP Hybris, and I'll have integration between those two. That's it. So that you will have order placing through website and then fulfillment through ERP system. That's the main advantage of Hybris, since they have already an ERP products which supports complete system from placing an order to an fulfillment. That's the main thing. And let me talk about what certifications that Hybris provides. This is a business analyst certification, and there is one for developer and one for product support specialist. So I would recommend you taking either business analyst, which is like the functional purely, and the next one would be a developer certification, and the last one would be like the product specialist, which is like an architect level certification. In case you are planning to grow in Hybris, and in case this is the site, you will need to have an S user ID for this to log in. This is help.hybris.com, where you have complete documentation of Hybris product, all like complete picture of what Hybris provides. It's like material for you. So you'll have release notes as here, like you'll have. So recently from 1808 6, the first version was 4x, 5x, and 6 started around 2017 or so, I guess. And then every 3 years that gets changed to a different version. Like 6 will continue until 2.5 years, and then it should have changed to 7. But what they are following is like year and month, like the SAP versions. If you have any idea of SAP product versions, they release by year and the month. So this was released 18 and November month.
November.
So this is how they follow the versions. So the latest version is 1811. You can see all the notes like related to Hybris, and any releases for that version is in here, described by each topic. And let me show you where you can download. But
Are there any prerequisites in order to learn Hybris?
yeah, prerequisite, I would say, since you said you are already a Java background guy, you would Spring MVC and Spring knowledge, MVC and dependency injection concept is like mandatory if you want to get onto a technical side. That's like mandatory thing, because I'll go into the framework like later in the classes, because the front end is used as the Spring MVC framework, and the later is Spring dependency injection concept. So that would be like mandatory for you to start off. Okay. So this is where you can download Hybris. This is like the common platform for every SAP product. Whatever you have to download, it would be launch.support.sap.com. This is like the common. So you search for SAP Commerce, or you can come in from downloads. This will take you directly here. Okay.
Okay.
Here you can download any versions of it. Here you search for SAP Commerce and 1811
Mhm.
and SAP Commerce and CX Commerce 1811.
Okay.
This is related to entitlement and services subscription that will not be covering. That's like advanced topic.
Mhm.
And this is like the data hub. Like I said, SAP ERP and Hybris Commerce
Mhm.
is integrated with the data hub. That's again a different concept. Once you learn commerce, it should be like easy for you to learn these, or to cope up with these things. You will automatically get through that flow. But you can start off with this, since this is the basic thing. It gives you on how to customize the hybrids, all those things.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the software, like you need to download.
Mhm.
Here you have 1811. If you see in the name itself, it's 1811 is the version, and P4 is the patch. It's patch 4, patch 11.
Okay.
So every version will have a patch. So what its patch is like, some fixes, minor fixes that they do after each version release. In case if there are any issues, they release the patches. So upgrading between the patch levels doesn't need any kind of much effort. It's like simple bringing the latest patch and then installing on your local, or into the production, whatever it is. Hybris recommends to be on the latest patch so that SAP can support you. I think S5 version of Hybris is no more supported by SAP. In case if there are any issues, they are not supporting. Only 6 version is supported by SAP.
Okay.
Okay, and so I'll give you the software, like whatever I have downloaded.
Mhm.
So this is one I just recently downloaded. This one, the CX latest version. I do have the older versions too, but the training will be given in the latest versions of Hybris Commerce. And you need to have 16 GB RAM for this. 16 GB RAM and Java 1.8 version, and Eclipse on IntelliJ, and the Hybris suite.
Eclipse, any preferred flavor or
Yeah,
just
Eclipse,
Eclipse?
anything. Yeah, anything preferred that supports 1.8, JDK 1.8 version.
This
Do
conference will now be recorded.
do we need any server, or is the code being executed on the Hybris itself? Like how does the code get executed?
Yeah. I'll talk about this in a while. So
Okay.
okay, so we need to unzip this zip file.
Mhm.
One second. So I'm just creating Hybris training as a new folder, and I'll unzip into this. Okay, so it's unzipping. Meanwhile, I have already unzipped the version. I'll just go through those folder structures.
Okay.
Uh, okay, this is the version, latest version that I have downloaded.
Okay.
Okay. So you can ignore all these build tools, C4C integration, mobile apps, SDK, SBG. These are like, you don't need right now, but uh, just give an high level overview of these folders. This is like something integration tools. I mean, this is like the sample code that they have given when you are integrating with Hybris C4C, which is like Cloud for Custom, a CRM tool that SAP provides.
Okay.
It's
Like the
like,
starter kit.
uh,
Like the starter kit.
yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
Okay, and these are like mobile apps. If you want to build anything, your application, you wanted need a, of a website, you need a mobile app. Like Amazon or eBay will be having some iOS and Android apps, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's similar to that. And
Okay.
this is like subscription billing module where you'll have some AT&T or Vodafone, Airtel subscribing options of like you know uh, you'll have some monthly charge and recurring charges. In case you wanted to have those kind of module within your ERP e-commerce website,
Mhm.
then you
Mhm.
use this. Right now I'll be explaining only B2C module, which is like the common thing that it's highly used in the market.
Okay.
I'll talk about this installer, and these are licenses. Okay, these are like
Okay.
outside licenses which are needed to support the Hybris.
Okay.
Okay, so when it comes to, you're asking about the servers, right?
Yes.
So it comes with inbuilt Apache server and inbuilt database server. You don't have to install any external application server. It automatically gets deployed on a Tomcat, and then it will start the server automatically. You don't have to separately package it and then as a bar file and then deploy it. So inbuilt you have Tomcat that's coming with the package, and there is a database server which is HSQL database. You don't We don't normally use the HSQL DB. We recommend using HANA database or MySQL, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL Server. So it supports kind of 5 databases, uh, and how to connect to a database and all is documented, that I'll be providing and I'll show you in the class, in the training, mostly today. Okay.
Okay.
So this is you will just have the bin folder when you unzip it. You'll see once it's the unzipping completes. You'll have all these folders.
Okay.
These are nothing but like logically grouping of each functionality within Hybris.
Mhm.
Like let's say you have some content, you need some content is nothing but, when I say, it can be a product content or content that may be like images or kind of stuff. It's more like let's say you have some movie stuff on your local, you kind of group it to like Hindi movies, English movies, Telugu movies, kind of you do some grouping, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
Yeah, it's similar to that. You don't have
Okay.
to really think what it's inside each folder. You'll have like tons, like inside you'll have so many. These are called as extensions in Hybris and not projects. Okay.
Okay.
Inside, if you go to ext integration, what are the integrations that can be done with Hybris? One is Data Hub.
Okay.
With SAP, what do you need? These are like supporting libraries that are needed from e-commerce perspective to connect with external ERP system directly.
Okay.
If you're building some mostly how it happens is, in outside world, if a company already has an ERP system, that's when they consider to go with integrating with ERP. Otherwise, let's say I have some website that's built on Java. Now I'm planning to move to Hybris. I will not say SAP ERP, because I have already a fulfillment system that's set up, right, with
Okay.
some vendors. So they will have some ERP system that will be connected to my Hybris. So I will not be using SAP ERP.
I cannot hear you. Hello, Naveen?
Hello, Jay. Sandeep, 2 minutes, he'll rejoin you.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
It was an automatic updates and it just triggered off actually without internet. Okay. So okay. I think the zipping also stopped in the middle. I'll explain in this and then we'll have that discussion tomorrow again. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are nothing but logical grouping of folders. Like I said,
Okay.
you will group like movies by each folder, right? It's simply that platform is like the base for Hybris. Without platform, you will not have any of the extensions. Like you cannot, what to say, build or start or use Hybris without the platform.
Okay.
I'll explain more on how this dependency on platform works. So the very first time you unzip your Hybris suite, you will have only bin directory.
Okay.
Within bin, you'll have all the folders except custom. Custom is like we created custom folder, and going down the classes, we will I'll explain how to customize like out of the box suite or code going down. So these are like already given for you. like if you want to have some, like I said, you have all inbuilt cart model or user, the relationships between them, and if the session has to be maintained, how the session has to be maintained, how to be configure servers in cluster mode, or if there is any Apache Tomcat server, all those things are within these folders. Okay, let me restart this unzipping because I'll have to explain few of the concepts. Okay, so these folders are created within bin after you run some command which is ant clean all. I'll do it once the unzipping of this software happens. Meanwhile, I'll explain this. So the config is where you have the configurations related to your setup. When I say Hybris, you have customize. We'll talk about this, in a while. This is more of when you want to customize something in out of the box, you use this folder. Languages, or like when you wanted to introduce new languages, like Hybrid supports internationalization and localization for you, so that you can have your website launched all over the world in different languages and different currencies. So in case if there is any language that Hybris does not support, you need to configure here. That's very rare that you do, because Hybris mostly supports all of the languages for you. And this is where it's the Hybris license is setup. This comes like a file, and every 30 days, once you do install on your local, you need to run an initialization. We'll talk about that in the second class or third class once the setup is done. And this is a Solar server where you have instances, all those things. This is mostly Solar server is used for indexing of the results, because on a PLP page, so when you go here, one second. So like I said, this is one category, and inside each category you'll have a list of products, right, coming in. Like let's say you go inside car, trucks and motors, and you go inside the category as interior. So you have all these products coming in. So if you're getting these many products on one page from a database, it would be like performance hit for your system, which will make like your website very slow. So what Hybris or any e-commerce website that's provided, even like I was talking about ATG or Salesforce products, what they do is like the PLP page, the product listing page, they index it, so that it can be a Solar indexing or any other kind of indexing server they use, where you kind of store the results. You'll have minimum results, and what really happens is when you are bringing in from a database, the product details are not stored in one table. You'll have product images in one table, like the product description in one table, and you'll have ratings and reviews if you wanted to show it's on a different table, and the product pricing is on a different table. So what really happens when you're bringing in products is the relation or join of the tables has to be done. If you're doing join statements and then bringing results for these many products, it would definitely hit your performance. So what they do is they store these on an indexing server, which makes the results faster. How do we do that? It's like the last class in our training. That would be last class. That's for this. And TC server is like some kind of application server that provided by Hybris. We'll not use this. Tomcat is what it gets deployed automatically for us. This is like the application server we use. This is since I have configured with IntelliJ, this is some property that's came up. This is local.properties. This is where you configure your okay, this is where you configure your properties that are needed for Hybris. When I say properties, since you have Hybris experience, you can compare this with application.properties in Spring Boot application,
Okay.
where you define your properties and then these gets picked up during runtime.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, so this is like the important file where you have all your extensions. When I say extensions, like the projects that I was showing you before. So these are all the extensions, like inside this, these are all the extensions, like one particular functionality that they support. These are all extensions. Okay, so these are configured here. Like I said, you have integration thing, like related extensions in here, but you don't need integration extensions when you're unless you are integrating with some external ERP system, right?
Yes.
So that's where you kind of configure, okay, based on this, okay, these are the extensions that are needed for me. And if let's say tomorrow they wanted product and reviews, what you do is mostly go in where it's already out of the box supported. So you go somewhere here, or you don't even have to go here. You'll have some extension already named, like reviews or something. So you just mention it here in the path, saying, okay, this is my just include these extension during the build, and once you restart the server, that will give you the functionality automatically for you.
Okay.
Okay, so these extensions are like the basic extensions that are needed to be added to your local extensions.xml file for you to have a server startup, and then connect to a database, and for some default website to show up. That's what is like the basic extensions. So Hybris provides you with multiple versions. These file, once we do unzipping is over, we'll talk more on this file, local extensions.
Mhm.
This is some data folder where you'll have the HSQL DB. Like I said, Hybris comes with out of the box database, right?
Yes.
This is the HSQL DB. Usually I just used it for some practice purposes. In higher environments or in any of the projects, you don't use the HSQL DB. Okay, these are logs. You'll have logging concept in Java, right? It's similar to how it gets logged into the log file. That will be in the training, in the
Okay.
once you go into the Java class, how do you want to log some statements in debug level or warning level, or
Yes. Info
so
debug
that will,
warning error.
Yeah. So how do we configure that? We'll see in the technical training. Like you need to see the class actually.
Oh,
That will be using Apache Logger, and these are roles. It's you can ignore this, and this is like the temporary files are saved in this here in case
okay.
if there is something that needs. Okay. So installer, this has been like new version added in 6 or 6.2. Before that, we were just using like once you know start your unzip your Hybris and then run add clean all, you'll have some default B2C website that's coming up. But with 6.2 or some version, they have changed the Hybris, and then they have come up with different recipes.
Okay.
So when I say recipes, you can build a travel accelerator, which can be used for like the airlines, like the shipping cruises. You can use that, flights, hotels. It supports that, and you can have telco accelerator, which supports to build a website for AT&T or T-Mobile. You want to have because that's like completely different thing, right? eBay is different from AT&T website. AT&T website is more like okay, you have a plan you need to pick, you have a phone you need to pick, then you will say like okay, you want to do a one time payment, or you want to monthly payments. So those things, like if you consider with regular eBay site, your regular eBay site will have just add product to a cart and then do a checkout. It can be a guest checkout or login and then do the payment. It's over. But here, talking about a telco accelerator, it's different. So you have different recipes, and B2B is again a different module. B2B is somewhere you will be ordering, like B2C is something you'll have only one product, mostly customer, or two products that customers will add, and there is a limitation on how many products that customer can add order, right? Whereas
Okay.
B2B is like it goes like the bulk. uh, you'll have cost centers associated and approval processes, so it's different concept. So for that you need to use like B2B ACC. This will give you like the basic extensions like I showed in your local extensions.xml file. So in case you want to use B2B side, you use the recipe as B2B underscore ACC. And if you want to have B2B with China accelerator, which particularly for Chinese websites.
Okay.
So we will use for B2B underscore China. So these are all like multiple recipes depending on your requirement, how you want it to do. This is like asynchronous and synchronous order management with B2B and B2C, which
Okay.
means when I say synchronous and asynchronous, you can have your order once an order is placed.
Mm-hmm.
When connecting with an SAP ERP, you can instantaneously send the order details to ERP, or you can have a regular cron job that's written where you'll have every 15 minutes or half an hour you can have a job to trigger, which is an asynchronous way. Synchronous way is something like instantly when I place an order, it goes to ERP directly for full payment. So depending
Okay.
on requirement, you can use the recipe accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is done. I'll demo this. So these are like the common folders. And once you go in Hybris, you don't have any folders that I explained before, right?
Yes.
Neither the
That's
data, log, temp folder or anything is not there.
yes.
But inside, if you see, you have all these extensions again,
Extensions.
right?
Okay.
Okay. So the first step that we need to do when you unzip is you go to the platform. Platform is the base for all the administrative tasks that you do, like you want to start a server. This is the command for setting up like the current instance of an ant, which is like the
Okay.
big thing, and any ant commands that you want to run will be from the platform folder. Okay.
Okay.
In case you want to start server, this is the command.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. This is where your original what to say Tomcat. When you download the Tomcat server, you would have regular bin directory, conf, lib.
Conflict, yes.
Similar to that. It's similar to that, except
Okay.
that you are not manually going and dropping the file or war file within the conf folder. You usually go and drop it in Catalina, right?
Yes.
We don't do that here. Hybris
Okay.
build will take care of for you. Like they have written some scripts, shell scripts for Mac or Unix, and these are for Windows. That okay.
Mhm.
So I'll open this in command prompt. You need to first set ant environment here. Okay. So once you set this ant environment, until you
Mhm.
close window, command window, it will read okay ant path, which is this. Okay, it will read
Okay.
from here. Okay, any ant command you run, it will look for this in this path.
Okay.
Okay, but if you close this window and run ant command, it says it failed to look for that. Okay.
Okay.
The first time you need to run ant clean all command. You see here, no config folder found.
Yes.
Yeah, all and again after license will be created for your convenience. So
Mhm.
basically when you are first newly created, you need to run ant clean all, which means which checks if there is a config folder already created, then it will ignore and do the rest of the operations.
Okay.
If it is not there, it will create one. So the very first time, if you see here, it created okay log directory, data directory,
Data
roles,
hybrid and roles.
everything it created. So the very first time, if you run ant right now, it will fail. So you need to
Okay.
run ant in all the very first time. So it's obviously
Okay.
development. You click enter. So meanwhile, I'll just go through the topics that I'll cover during the training. So first thing is Hybris introduction, that's done, and we'll do local setup and Hybris server and database setup if possible today. Okay. Next step would be the initialization, and which I'll talk about what initialization is, out of the box features, like how we can build, what kind of tools that Hybris provides for you to manage your website or to build your website.
Okay.
So you have different pricing strategies, like for each, for a same product, if you're selling in Europe, you'll have euro currency. So how do you sell product in Europe with the same website? So those kind of strategies I'll be explaining. And data modeling, which is important concept. uh, Data modeling is like how do you create tables, and obviously like when you're creating some new uh, data type that you're introducing, the custom data type, you need to save it to the database, like how the if cart is created, how it gets saved. If you want to create new cart model or replicate of this, how do you do that? How do you kind of use that or extend the out of the box. And this is like the complete flow of how the website works, and the architecture, like what pattern do you follow when you are this is like more of a technical. I'll get in here. Till here you'll have only the functional training, and the registration flow is like the online how a customer registers, and different pages like the e-commerce site will have. And the architecture of service layer is like how the service, when you're writing how Spring MVC should be used, how dependency injection should be used, and if you're customizing your code, how do we extend the existing class and then override on top of it. So I'll go thoroughly on that, and I have an example for that in terms of customization, like adding new value and then showing it on a page, something like that. And this is like the creating new custom extensions, which is where we actually customize our code. We don't touch any out of the box code. We just create the custom folder, like I said, and then we do customization. Cron job is something you want to have something, some process to be done at regular intervals without manual intervention. That's when you use the cron job. Flex search is similar to a SQL queries, but it's slightly different. It's like querying to a database to get the results. We'll talk on that. WCMS is content management system. So how do we manage images? How do we have some segments written on pages? We'll talk on that. Solr is the last topic that we'll be discussing, which is like I said, on PLP page, for the results to come, you need to integrate with Solr server. So these are all the topics that we'll be covering in. Okay. So here we have build successful. So if you see, the folder structures are created. All these things I have explained you already. So if you see here, for the newly generated local extensions.xml file, you don't have any extensions here except the bin directory that it is following through. Only the bin directory is being built currently. So you want to have some B2C site that you wanted to develop. So you don't know like clearly what extensions are needed for a B2C site, like the default B2C site to build. So for that, you have like installer concept that's provided out of the box, where you can use these recipes to generate that. So if you -r is like a recipe, what kind of recipe you wanted, you define it here, B2C or B2B or Chain accelerator or synchronous order management systems that you wanted. So accordingly, what it is to do is like it will put all the extensions that are needed for this recipe into your local extensions.xml file. So if you go inside recipes, B2C underscore ACC, you see here, this recipe provides everything you need to install for SAP Hybris Commerce Responsive B2C Commerce Accelerator with Smart Edit coupons. These are like additional add-ons that comes, like the Smart Edit is for WCMS management, Promotion Engine is for creating promotions and vouchers. This is for coupons, vouchers. and text field is like for assisted services things. Like usually what happens is it's mostly used in B2B scenarios, the assisted service concept, where you'll have a website that's not visible to outside vendor. They usually call, okay, I wanted to place an order. So the customer service representative logs in with his username and then search for the customer and then places order on behalf of him. That's mostly used in B2B scenarios. So these are like the additional things that come up when you create a recipe using B2C underscore ACC. So let me go back to the local extensions.xml file. See here, you have all the extensions included automatically here.
Yes.
So what really happens is, but I said like platform directory is the base extension, right? But I don't see the platform here. So how does Hybris know how to include the platform is, what really happens is, let's say this adaptive search Solar. It might be dependent on some other extension. So it will first build that extension and then, build this extension. When I say let me open my IntelliJ so that you can see. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So when I say requires, you see here, you'll have multiple files that you will be coming across through Hybris. Extension info.xml file is where you define, like let's say in your project, if you're considering some Maven project, you will say you will add dependencies using Maven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So similarly in Hybris, you have a concept of extension info.xml file. In case you want to have some other extension dependent on this extension, you add this saying requires extension.
Okay.
So what really happens when you do add clean all, it reads this file local extensions.xml file. Okay, it reads for adaptive search Solar, or I have written accelerator for search. So what really happens is it reads, like let's say it reads these extensions. So when it reads these extensions, it reads the extension info.xml file of these extension and sees, okay, there is some required extension for this, for this extension to build. So it goes to this extension first and then again reads the extension info.xml file of that extension and sees if there is any required extension. So it forms a loop and then it tries to build a base and then from there it goes again forward. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how the build happens. Okay. So when you do add clean all, it tries, earlier it was taking like 2 minutes or very less time, right? So
Yes.
now it tries to have build all these extensions for you. Like it reads all these extensions and then it creates dot class files for you. Basically, you'll have dot Java class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of dot Java, it tries to build dot class files for you for all these extensions to compile.
Okay.
And when you start an Hybris server, all these extensions are included and its dependencies are included during the server startup.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just do an and clean all. Yeah, I think we passed the time. So tomorrow I'll be covering once we start the server, what is the initialization and what are the tools that are provided by Hybris for us to efficiently, bring the site up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Naveen.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah. I don't know if he's there.